Oh, it's concede to Thomas T. Fair enough. So yeah.
Oh.
Fair enough. With that, let's actually start this thing. So welcome everyone to the Div 1 and 2 recap. This week we don't have Cheetos, we have Swedish with Dreamifi over here.
I'm not gonna talk in Swedish.
I mean, you said something in Swedish like 3 seconds ago, and I can probably
Yeah.
make it into the YouTube video so they will see it as well.
Yeah. I'm Swedish. I know how to pronounce ostbågar.
Well, I know how to say Vigero correctly, so we
Yeah.
all
What's
get
that?
something. Well, it's a
Yeah.
coach in Div 1.
Okay.
Whenever
Oh, right. It's
it's the coach of the Wood Elves team in Div 1, which is
Conquistadors.
yes, the Swishy Conquistadors. So yeah, with that nonsense, let's first of all we will reject Random Boy's wish to join the recap team, and after that we'll go into Div 2 to be very sad that Random Boy is actually winning in that division.
Oh, so me stepping up to be on the recap actually barred Random Boy from recapping?
I would do it alone. We don't need a random. Nah, we probably can have you one time, Random Boy, and it will be very silly. But not today. But yeah, Div 2. So let's look quickly at the leaderboards, just so you will have a bit of a grasp. Random Boy is winning by a lot.
Wow, he's winning big.
Yes.
Holy crap.
Birmingham could maybe chase him alongside like a couple more coaches, but it's still a massive gap. So yeah, that's the baseline for this div. Random Boy is winning, which is life.
That's Vampire Life.
Yes, Vampire Life. So yeah, let's look over the matches and then look at the next week and say, oh, Random Boy is going to win this. Hooray.
Okay.
So yeah, first up.
Singe versus Aldar.
The 7 circles against the Pink Power Pafta. A win for Singe with a lot of damage and a lot of blocks. 62 blocks is a lot of blocks. Also SPP for Unf, which is not good. Also Unf was not really bad, but he did fail Loner. So...
Oh, so Unf is rejecting the meme?
No, he's still bad. But he's a Chaos Minotaur, so at least he gets Claw and Tentacles on normals, which is much better than the other Minotaur we saw on a Chorf team.
I didn't see he disproved the meme. I said he rejected it. So he's working hard to not be bad. Yeah.
He's still bad. Sorry, Singe.
Paper, though.
Yes.
Gotta say.
So yeah, 1-0 win. Did Aldar take any damage? Because I have seen quite a lot of injuries.
So was there was nothing permanent there. It's just they got unbashed, right?
I see an MNG on a Flesh Golem. Is it from that game? Yes.
From the game after, because it doesn't say anything on the Rebel.net report.
Well, Rebel.net is wrong.
They did play a game after, didn't they?
No,
okay.
They didn't. Well, we have an MNG.
Rebel.net is indeed wrong then. Okay, interesting.
Well, a bad MNG, but it's acceptable, I think. Probably quite by the book for the Chaos. They just blocked a lot, they removed a lot, and just being stronger, having the numbers, even with Region succeeding, like it's still you're down for the drive a lot, and you're facing more guard and more strength. I believe this was the matchup we expected, the result we expected, me and Vikingnkop last week.
Okay, congratulations to Singe.
Yes, sad times for Aldar, but also pretty bad MVP.
Aldar is in chat, by the way.
Yes, I have seen. Random Boy needs to understand that not everything is about him. But yeah, next up.
Is never wrong. Yes. Okay, yeah, next up.
Bye week, because Philbo is still on vacation, so an admin win for Death Monkey.
Oh.
This is the first win of Death Monkey,
Oh.
a previously Ariel coach, in this division, and it was a bye. And if he doesn't get another win, me and Vikingnkop get to laugh at him not being able to actually beat the GMan coaches still. So.
Oh, okay.
It's quite a beef between him and Vikingnkop because Vikingnkop actually beat him in playoffs like 2 seasons ago, and
Okay.
he had a bull centaur like called Phileminome that was on Vikingnkop's hype vid because he got injured, and like you had Crusader go Phileminome, and like
yeah, I remember that from the hype video. Oh no, Phileminome.
something like that with very Australian accent. Next up, draw between, which is the best result for this matchup, between my boy Major Bite and Crow Dog, which is also a fan favorite of me and Vikingnkop and possibly chat from last season.
Well, Drop Dead Gorgeous is an awesome name.
Yes, and the team is quite nice. So yeah, lots of locks on both sides. And a death.
There's a lot of violence in this one, looks like, yeah.
Can you tell me who died?
Sarah the Slayer died.
Is that anyone important?
Well.net. Sarah the Slayer is a star player.
Oh. Oh, yeah. I know who that is. She's okay. We don't care. So, a damageless game for Major Bite.
Valve decided that Sarah the Slayer should be a good fit for fighting against dead things, and that seems like a good idea. I don't know how early she died. Did she do work, Major Bite?
Do you get a zombie called Zara the Slayer after killing Zara the Slayer? Because if so, that's so silly.
I think you shouldn't, because the lore is that they have private apothecaries that resurrect them.
You probably don't, but that would be really funny if you can have.
So Major Bite is saying that what you see now is after week 6, because Alva's actually played one more game.
Fair enough. But yeah, draw, which is acceptable by me and Vikingnkop. Not ideal for either coaches. I think they wanted a win here, but at least not too much damage to either as well. Next up, Venechar out of the losing streak, taking a draw. Quite a big result for this division actually, against Birmingham and Death Dead Dishonor. Because Birmingham was the only one really close to catch up with Vikingnkop, with a Rando Boy, and with a win this here he would still be 2 points behind. But now there's a massive gap.
Are you saying Vikingnkop instead of Venechar?
I said Vikingnkop once instead of Rando Boy, because
okay.
I wasn't really focused.
Longbong Silver got 2 completions.
Anyone surprised?
No surprise. And also, Major Bite reports that Sarah the Slayer died on turn 8 or 9. He hasn't answered whether or not she did work. And she played half a game.
That's fair enough. So yeah, John blow him up with the MVP, so a bit closer to legend. That's pretty cool. And it seems like the Elves held quite strong in this match. So finally, Venechar is a bit out of the death spiral that he's been starting, and maybe he can start to recover because he had quite a tough set of games.
All right, that's actually more important than the result of the game, isn't it? Getting out of the death spiral.
Yeah, getting out of like the dumps of like 3 losses in a row with very bad dice. So it's pretty nice to see Venechar getting out of that. Maybe one day we will see Venechar go back to Div 1.
Steve has a great excuse for you saying the wrong name on Random Boy, because logically you can just pick a random name, right?
Yeah.
A random boy name.
Yeah. So I probably should one time just start calling him very random names. And like people will be very confused on the recap and here, but I find it funny. So, you know, if I find it funny, it's worth it.
Yes, Johnny Boy.
So yeah, it's Mr. Fred won 2-1 against Ramaset with
High elves.
vampires taking down the high elves. Pretty even on damage, I would say. But it seems like Random
So
Boy.
3 badly hurt and thralls, looks like,
Yep.
according to Rebel.net, which is not.
I mean, one of them was self-inflicted, which is not surprising because vampires.
Count Vladimir Rasputin scored 2 touchdowns, and Holland Longbow scored 1 touchdown.
Yes. Also MVP for possibly the worst dirty player in the history of Blood Bowl.
What makes him the worst?
He's just really bad at hurting stuff.
For reals, or is that just a jab at his name?
No, he's really bad at hurting stuff, or at least was last season. I'm not sure about his record this season. Random Boy can probably confirm if he's living up to his name.
If he's living up to the Justin Bieber.
Yes. For reals, with an E and a Z. Actually, no, it's for Rel Z, which is actually the new Rel division, because we need more Rel divisions.
So the for real thing was that Random Boy is completely okay with you calling him Vikingnkop if he comes on the recap.
Fair enough. that would be interesting, but probably funny enough to pull off. So yeah, another win for Random Boy. We have
maybe he'll bring the sheet. Yeah, Random Boy is doing incredibly well.
And up next, the big Mulligans took a 2-0 victory over the locomotive Gibbs Stompers. So that's Freddie Gibbs against Hammersep. And it seems like
so how are these? Where are these teams on the leaderboard?
Freddie Gibbs is rather on the higher side, but still quite a bit behind Random Boy. He probably can still push playoffs.
Okay,
Hammersep in the middle of the table, but he suffered a very, very devastating last game with a lot of damage on his team. So it's going to be a bit tough to pull out of the gutters.
But they still managed to win despite being weakened then?
No, they lost 2-0 to the Orcs. Because Orcs.
The Amazons were weakened, I see.
Amazons, just for your reference, are a bit recovered, but they lost quite a lot. Like, they entered this game with like 4 or 5 loners, which was really bad.
Now some MNGs have come back, I assume.
Yeah, some MNGs come back. He replaced a pretty much dead Blitzer that used to be Strength 4 Guard Stand Firm Frenzy, because it got both minus movement, minus armor, and an Eagle now. So it had to be.
So the replace must have happened before this game, though, because
Yes.
there's 1 SPP on it.
It was replaced before the game, but that's still carrying a rookie. It is blodge, but the Orcs had tackle.
It is blodge, but it could have been blodge mighty blow.
Yeah.
So that's still quite a difference.
So yeah, good win for Freddie Gibbs and the boys. I'm a big fan of Orcs, if no one understands. And sadly, like, at least no one important died. So Hammersep got some time to recover, get a bit of cash as well, and maybe can avoid entering a death spiral and just leave it at 1 bad game. Because it was mostly.
So how many playoff spots are there in Division 2?
I believe we only have 3.
So it's still completely possible for the Git Stumpers to get a playoff spot.
Well, like, if you look at the leaderboard, like, you have Random Boy very safe on top, but everyone else is really in it. Even like Venechar, who had a really bad season, still like he's only 3 wins away from the top. That's not too big of a gap after half a season.
To make it though, but yeah, it's possible.
It's definitely going to be tough, but like definitely like people with 2 wins can, like, they're 1 win away from being the same as those at spot 2 and spot 3. So it's definitely like it's going to be quite close for the 2nd and 3rd ticket. But I think Random Boy has a very solid chance running away with it right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, next up.
So the Vikingnkop has an interesting idea that we could that the recap team could bounty the vampires on Random Boy's team and pay in memes.
Uh, but then I will lose my precious memes. That's sorry, Vikingkop. I cannot risk my
That
precious memes.
that's not how memes work. You share them and then they multiply.
That's not how. I have a stack of memes ready for the right time to use. You cannot just like throw the memes at the masses. You need to preserve them and use them correctly.
Okay.
It's like a massive responsibility, Dreamify.
Okay, I understand. But you could maybe specifically tailor a meme to a vamp dying, right?
Yeah, but like I don't know, a vampire doesn't really die in this universe. So is he really worth a meme?
Ah, right.
Yeah, they're really weird. Vamps are waste of memes because it's random boy coaching them. He can produce some of his own, and if he doesn't bother, then I shouldn't bother either.
You're a strong believer in random boys memeing talents.
Yes, will be my answer.
Nice.
Yeah, but for the last matchup, it's another bye week. Carlos CB is also on vacation, so definitely not a zoo coached by Ambi Tank, taking an admin win, of
Okay.
course. Not very interesting.
Okay, so that's Underworld, right?
Underworld versus another Underworld team, but it's a bye. So sad
Not
times.
no Underworld versus Underworld game.
Yeah, no Underworld on Underworld action for some very weird Goblin on Goblin action.
With some Skaven who don't want to include them.
Yes, who feel really silly in this matchup. But yeah, let's look at the next round, what we have here. Because we did look shortly at the leaderboards already. First up, Aldar and the Power Puffed are going against Ramaset's Boltex Vanguard.
And are these mid-table teams also? Well,
Yeah,
everyone.
like pretty much at the bottom you have like Vanish are doing really poorly, the two Underworld being pretty weak, Filbo because he missed 2 games due to vacation, and above that I
Right.
believe everyone has 2 wins, and 2 wins qualify
Okay.
to being mid-table.
Looking high elf team.
Yes, a lot of dodge on this one. You have like 9 blodgers, 8 blodgers, something like that. That's a lot of blodge.
That's kind of how I want my team to look eventually.
Yeah.
Except I will have less armor and less guard,
And dirty player, because you're cheaper.
probably. Yeah, probably. More
Also,
players,
are you
maybe.
planning on getting a thrower on your team? Or are you
Yes,
not plan?
I want a thrower, but players are so expensive, and I started with 40 euros. But yeah,
Well,
thrower, maybe 2 actually.
this is a very nasty team. Lots of like blodge and a very good thrower, very good catchers. So going to be a tough match for Aldar and his
It's very
non-scary wolves.
nice for the high elves that they start with safe throw too.
Yeah,
That's actually a good skill.
it's a nice skill for a thrower, but like you pay like the thrower is a bit expensive. Like the thrower is the same as a catcher for them. So when you look at it,
There has really listened to your meme about more dirty players makes better team
yes.
thing.
Well, I mean it's a good meme.
Yeah, and Aldar is embracing it.
Yes. Well, he should.
Is it working for him?
Uh, eh, no, a bit, but not really. Like his,
Right, he got beat up by Singed
yeah,
this
it's
week.
203. So on the
Right.
weaker side, and this is actually a very tough matchup. He's only going in with 1 tackle and like 1 wrestle on
Oh,
dirty player against an army of blodge. Now the tackle is in the right spot on the wolf, which is really fast as well. But this is a very tough matchup.
on the tackle.
Like,
Well, claw is almost mighty blow, I guess, but not quite.
yeah. Like
So yeah, tough matchup.
yeah, he doesn't really have the ways to deal damage, and he's not even like he has 4 guard against 2 guard, so he's not even winning by enough on strength with missing a flesh golem. So that's going to be a very awkward match for Aldar.
So equal strength and very out agility.
Yeah, and like it's pretty much 2 guard in favor of Aldar in terms of strength because there is a strength 4 catcher to deal with the flesh golems, and there's only one of them.
So maybe the elves actually. Well, there's 4 guards there. Yeah, right. If the elves use their maneuvering, so there's more against few or something like that, the elves might actually outstrength them in practice.
Yeah, very much so. I would like, and it's not even enough inducements to really do something. You can get like a wizard and a bribe, and maybe a bay, but that's not going to win you the game on its own. So it's going to be a pretty tough matchup.
A star player could maybe help if they can afford that.
Yeah, they could go for Cheney for a bit of strength and wrestle, but he's not that amazing versus elves, and he's pretty much the best option they can get.
Yeah, but just for the extra strength that can put them over a threshold that they actually can outstrength their opponent. I think that's when that makes a difference. I think that kind of star player points can make a really big impact.
Yeah, I definitely agree also with chat that like Vikingnkop and Aldar saying that this is pretty much can you kill everything by fouling? If yes, you can probably win this because the high elves are like
Just
no
need
range.
some house to enable the fouling too, which
Yep.
is the problem.
So yeah, maybe like if Aldar can pull the fouls, maybe, but probably not. But still maybe.
Yeah, I suppose sometimes you can be able to trap the elves in a surround so they have a hard time dodging out, and then when they try to dodge out, they fail, and then you foul them.
Yeah. I mean, he does have a couple, like one tackle, which is enough to knock down. Like, and he could like knock down people using the wrestle, or maybe get Shane as wrestle to knock more people over. So that gives him quite a lot of outs.
Oh yeah, so Shaney could actually help the foul game that
Yeah.
way. That makes sense. That sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, that could work.
So next game.
Yeah. Next up, the big mulligans and the high sales are going off. So Venejar against Freddy Gibbs. Venejar still has quite a nasty team, but just low morale, I would say. He did get his 3 back last game, and he seems like he's been doing work.
Okay.
Two casualties in one game, that's impressive for a 3.
It's impressive, yeah. Just being able to reach 2 players in a game.
Yeah, you did 2 blocks with a 3. That's impressive.
Kind of. Well, maybe not, because you can do them on the line of scrimmage, but yeah.
So yeah, the team still looks on the stronger side. Longbong is safe. John Bloimap is safe. He still has the good lineman he always had, and like one good dancer, one okay dancer. So
the big mulligans is coming in with high morale probably because they won the last game. Well, high sales is coming in with low morale.
yes,
that's the big storyline here.
Yes, well, the Orcs definitely have some tools for this matchup. They will have 3 tackle, all of which is mighty blow, which is pretty important. One of them strength 4 as well. There's also quite a bit of guard and a couple of diving tackle to annoy even more.
Yeah, they are overwhelming in the strength game, and they have enough mighty blow to be really scary to the wood elves. And the mighty blow, most of the mighty blow comes with tackle. So yeah, they are really well equipped.
Yeah, this is probably a good matchup. But Venejar still has some tricks up his sleeves. Like he definitely has the inducements in his favor. We definitely see a wizard, possibly even some babes or an apple for protecting those elves. And he still has some very nasty elves.
So with all that guard, though, even a wizard might have a hard time creating a real opportunity.
I mean, not really, because Venejar has a strength 5 elf. Like, he doesn't care about that guard.
True, I guess. I guess that, and he has wrestle too. So yeah, that's true.
Like that's a good elf.
OM is actually the guy to watch this game.
I mean, he's the guy to
And the
watch
strip ball
every
too.
game. Yeah,
Strip
but there
ball is
is
also really good.
sure hands on the orc thrower, who also has
But
some passive.
after Bloem kills the thrower, then the strip ball comes into play, right?
Yeah, if you like if you lightning bolt the thrower and he dies, then the strip ball is actually very strong.
True. So
Like
yeah, with a wizard, Vanishard's game looks a lot more doable.
yeah, like the elves are never out. They have a strong team still, and the wizard is always scary. It's not
Still,
going
it's
to
gonna
be.
be a really hard game though.
Yeah, it's going to
Because
be
yeah,
tough against that mighty blow and tackle and so much guard. And also one turning is difficult against two stand firm, but still
just strength
doable.
4. Oh yeah, in just strength, even just against strength 4, one turning is really hard.
Yeah. So yeah, probably
Yeah,
favored
you
towards the
haven't one
orcs, but I think Venetar can pull it off.
a chance.
No.
So then
Vikingnkop,
we have a game who was already played.
yes, we look at it just a bit. Alv lost to definitely not a zoo, coming like Major Bite coming after a game with not too much damage, I believe. Definitely not a zoo coming after a game which was a bye. And being fresh seems like it worked. Like a lot less blocks for definitely not a zoo, but it seems like the piling on was enough to actually bring them the damage. And
Confirm that the cat, the Blitzer, did 2 casualties according to Rebel.net.
yeah, also according to in-game, he got MVP and 2 casualties for 9 SPP, which is quite good.
Right.
On the way to legend.
And Alvias didn't get the damage, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Major Bite has a nice team, but like when you look at it, the biggest problem is the lack of good berserkers. So like he has a good team, but he doesn't really
He
have the
has
tools to
Berserkers
damage.
now, though.
Yeah, that's
That's a big improvement. He actually has Berserkers.
one of them is Nigel, and possibly would get fired if he had enough money, but he never has enough money.
Do you really fire a Frenzy Mighty Blow block player?
If you don't need to get a bench, probably because he's also armor 7, and Nigel is really bad.
Maybe.
Also, it's not that. It wasn't so much SPP when he actually got the Nigel. Yeah, Major White
Right.
having a tough time building a bench because linemen are made of paper.
And Berserkers are made of paper too.
Yeah. So yeah.
But you know, having that Mighty Blow, I think, is very valuable. So I think maybe you keep the Nigel.
Yeah, you keep
Just
him. Definitely keep him
until he
now.
dies. Yeah, okay.
Like because you cannot really buy a new one without saying I'm not playing with the bench ever. You probably keep him because you really want the bench.
Even a new one, I think, is not necessarily as good. Even you remove the Nigel, but you lose the Mighty
Yeah.
Blow.
But
You have to level him.
eventually you will get the mighty blow, and like the longer you go, the weak, like the more bad the niggle gets, because like
But
when
that's not the Elf experience, because most Berserkers die really fast, and so this is one of the rare ones who survived. So it's kind of a rarity.
fair enough.
Bad reasoning, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm guessing that Major Bite thinks similarly, but I'm not sure.
Well, after that we have two teams coming up from a bye loss. So it's Filbo against Carlos Thebe. So Orcs against Underworld. How is Filbo
And be
looking?
played.
I think it will be played.
Okay, so they're both coming back from vacation.
Yes. Well, I know Filbo is. I'm pretty sure Carlos Thebe as well, from what I remember
Cool.
him telling me. Filbo with his same-ish orcs and the one vampire that everyone likes. Because what's not to like?
He doesn't have bloodlust. It's not a vampire.
He's a better burn. Like, his name is Earl, Reaper of Overwatch. That's a very vampire name.
That's true. That's true.
Like, if Random Boy put this dude as a vampire, he wouldn't be, like, you might think it's a default name.
Right.
So
That's
in my
true.
heart, he is a vampire.
Except, yeah, one more armor, one less movement, no hypnogaze, and no bloodlust. But yeah, otherwise he's a vampire.
So yeah, Filbo, not too much guard, a lot of mighty blow, and quite a bit of strength with 2 strength ups.
Nice looking team.
Yes.
Not a little low on the guard.
Very low on the guard, I will agree in that. He's up against Carlos Ibs, Underworld, and they are, like, they didn't change too much because of the buy, of course. They have one good killer, and everyone else is a bit lacking. The troll is okay, one of the thrower is nice, and like rookie blitzer, rookie thrower, line rats are still in development, and there is a couple of good dodging goblins, and he's definitely missing a bench.
So this is the team with all the agility goblins. Does he use that for throw teammate plays? Is the question.
Probably.
Before, right?
Like
the agility on goblins. That's only good for teammate plays, right?
For the 2 heads one, yes, and picking up. For like the non 2 heads one, it helps him
Picking
dodge.
up too, yeah.
It helps him pick up. It helps him land. So it's a bit
Yeah,
better when he doesn't have 2 heads.
You don't actually need 2 heads then when you have agility, so you can subsidize the cost, or what you say. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's
using words I don't know.
So that, like, the team really is like Underworld as a race is very much built on having like good killers and a good troll, and the rest is like fancy fodder. And he only has one good killer, which is going to make this match difficult, especially because of so much strength from Filbo. Like it's even with horns, it's tough to hit strength 4 dudes, especially when like they're standing together. Because sure, Filbo doesn't have guard, but you don't have guard either, so you still can't hit the strength 4 easily.
Be able to hit like orcs at the edges or something like. Not the most juicy targets, but you should be able to find targets.
Definitely.
I think.
Yeah, and he will have a lot of inducements. So we very likely will see Skitter Stab and Glart for another claw with strength 4 on the field.
So Random Boy is mentioning the edge case of diving tackle for agility plus heads. Yeah, and it gets even more fake with 2 heads and agility on the goblin. So that's an edge case there.
Yeah, that's the only time when it's good, but it's still like.
Well, sure, teammate, it's good for, but yeah.
So yeah, like as always, I'm not going to back Underworld because I really don't believe in Underworld, even though I really love the team. And if Vikingnkop was here, he would say that the Underworld are going to win this one.
Right. So how good are the coaches is a question, because that can be relevant.
Right now, both are pretty bad. Like Carlos is dead bottom right now. Filbo only with 1 win. Filbo only really playing 3 out of those games. Carlos only 4. So.
Okay, so then probably the solidness of orcs should. But you can never count out bullshit from goblins and stuff if someone messes up.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I still think the orcs are too likely to end up winning this one. To back the Underworld.
It seems fair. It's a more solid team.
Yes. And up next, the Locomotive Git Stompers against the Seven Circles. So Singe, the guy who at the start of the season didn't have tackle and now have 2, is going to face against a lot of Lodge. And I think he's very happy he actually got the tackle in time for this matchup.
He even has diving tackle, which against Amazons should not be a fake skill.
That's not how diving tackle works. But yeah, like this is a very scary matchup for the Amazon. There's 7 guard, because Unf has guard as well.
Right.
Not much tackle, but a lot of mighty blow still. So definitely a lot of tools to hurt you. Only 1 in the bench, and the Amazons are definitely getting the inducements, and quite a bit of them.
But with only one of the tackles being Mighty Blow do major work here. There's a chance that they don't actually take damage.
I mean,
It's
that
not
still
likely.
means, like, every turn you just blitz with that guy, so you have the tackle hit, and you still have so much guard that you just go and base the Amazons. And even if not every hit is a knockdown, you still force dodges, or eventually get knocked down with enough dice.
How much guard do the 7 circles have?
7. And strength 4
7.
pieces.
Okay, and the Amazons have quite a lot of guard too, but they don't have the strength 4, so yeah, it could get tough, yeah.
Yeah, and the issue is that the Amazons, even with having blodge, like against attack, when a tackle piece hits them, it's actually like the AB7 hurts more than like how good blodge is. So they very much might end up
Yeah, but
going down numbers.
you might be able to like mark up with the tackle with something less important, so it doesn't get to blitz.
Sure, but eventually he will hurt that thing and then get to blitz.
That's true. So yeah, it's looking good for the chaos, but it's up to dice in the end. So
So yeah.
anything can happen.
Yeah, like there will be inducements, so we definitely can expect like a wizard from the Amazons, and maybe one of the more fancy star players they get, because they could get like Roxana for an agility for Witch Elf to maybe do some
Ooh,
nonsense with a wizard, which is quite a fun combo for Amazon.
I've played with Roxana on Dark Elves last season. I played with her a lot,
Yes, I
and the
remember.
biggest thing with her is actually the movement 8, and that should also be a big thing for the Amazons.
Yeah, like the
I
Amazons are
think.
pretty slow, like they're only movement 6, some will be even
Yeah,
1-5.
so just ball carrying on an agility 5 movement 8 player, even though that's a player you don't really want to give it SPP, she's a really good ball carrier for a slower team like, but it should be even better for Amazons.
Yeah, and with like agility for leap, like it really makes your wizard a
Like,
lot better because you can wizard and then rely on her to actually get the ball.
she's agility 5, not 4.
Agility 5 and leap. Sorry,
Yeah, 2 plus leap.
2 plus leap. Also, she gives frenzy for the team in case you really need to surf something, which is nice because surfing is good.
Surfing is good, especially when you're out strengths.
Yeah. So that possibly can save Hammersep from a tough matchup. Like,
Right.
it always depends on how bad the AB7 is. Because if the AB7 doesn't hold at all, like this is going to be a very difficult match. But if the AB7 is okay or good, this can be a very tough match for the Chaos because they are very much relying on damage as their game plan.
Yeah, very much. But they have very good odds, to
Yes.
be honest.
Yeah, it's like with tentacles on the Minotaur and a couple of tackle, they can still hold people down, and they have the guard to
Right.
just force to win the bash war.
And the mighty blow.
Yeah,
So much mighty blow.
yeah, 7 of it. So yeah, that's a lot of mighty blow. It's going to be a tough one, but possibly winnable. And like
Can't actually say that Random Boy is gonna win because he already played and
yeah,
won.
he played a bit earlier and 1-1 against unaccompanied manos by Death Monkey. Uh, Actually, a lot of damage on Random Boy's team. 7 casualties
Um,
sustained, 7 KOs.
so according to Rebel.net, it's a minus movement on your boss junior and a minus armor on school.
Not school.
And a school is a troll.
Uh, well, he's not here
Yeah,
anymore.
my
I
guess.
think he might got fired.
Yeah, he fired him. He had a wrestle, tackle, and fence, so he was quite leveled.
Pretty
So he lost
expensive.
quite to troll, which is good and bad.
Yeah, losing the movement on your boss junior is actually quite big because vampires are not
Uh,
very fast. Losing a movement hurts a lot.
yeah, he might be worth firing over that
Yeah.
actually.
Well, he's also level 3 already, so it's a tough decision for Random Boy to make here.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah, that's true.
Donald Trump nearly died, but probably was saved by... Oh, he was saved by the Apo, not the region.
Nearly died. I missed some words there.
Uh, Donald Trump nearly died from a foul, but Apo was woke. Ooh, Random Boy saying your boss is getting fired.
Okay, so to me that makes sense because he really is a lot worse with movement 5. I
That's
think.
that's going to be a new commitment to if he wants to level another vampire, but he probably can afford with his record being perfect.
So for me, the sound from you is cutting out a lot
Oh,
right now. I'm not
uh,
sure if it's the same for the stream or not.
I hope it isn't.
Just like the while we talked about Random Boys team, so it
Maybe.
might be the vampires are cursed sometimes. Maybe
Probably Random Boy cursing me or something like that.
it might be true. It seems better now actually.
Fair enough. So yeah, win for Random Boy, keeping the perfect record. And for the last matchup, we have another Necro off, which is quite common for this division. We do have 3. It's Birmingham against Crow Dog, so Death and then Dishonor against Drop Dead Gorgeous. Like, these
Let's
matchups
see.
are really weird. Because the thing about Necro in this division is that they have very bad wolves without really anything
Okay.
special, and a lot of guard on zombies. That's pretty much how you define any Necro team in this division. So,
Okay.
for this matchup, we're
So,
going to have pretty bad wolves and a lot of guard.
so how does that play out in practice? How do the games end up?
Uh,
Well, I guess we don't actually know.
it's usually more of a bash war in the end. Like, having more guard, having a little bit of more damage, ends up winning you the game. It's like two bash
Okay.
teams facing each other, but
Right.
they have regen and wolves.
So they have like a, a quasi option to outscore each other with the movement,
Yeah.
but
It
probably
usually
not going to do
doesn't
that.
reach that. Like the wolves are not they're not fast enough with only movement 8, and the team cannot really support them to just run away.
Right.
But yeah, for
Fast
this,
enough, but with no support, it's rarely
it's
is an
potato.
option, I guess. It's pretty potato, yeah.
Yeah, so for Birmingham, he is the second place right now on the leaderboard, and he has off like from the weaker wolves because they didn't roll doubles or stats. His wolves are a bit more developed. They have Blodge Tackle and Blodge Step. 2 very good flesh golems. 1 very good white,
Nice.
only with guard. Couple of guard zombies, of course. And ball carrier ghoul, wrestle ghoul. No dirty player. Not a fan. And Crow Dog, on the other hand, his wolves are a little bit less developed. He's like it's
Right.
both good and bad because
So
maybe
the are we favoring uh Death then Dishonor then in this matchup?
probably because they are a bit more developed. But there will be a wizard to maybe tip the scales because the teams are not that different when you look at it. Like
Right.
one weaker
And
flash.
and even though the Wolves have no support, it should be still be kind of enough to be able to utilize a wizard
Yes.
and support the other.
We might even see like Wilhelm Cheney for a third wolf with strength 4 to actually balance it a bit out because he's
Oh
actually
yeah.
nice.
So he doesn't have to go with the wizard. He could go with just
Cheney.
strengthening a bash game. That seems smart, actually. I think.
Yeah. It also gives him
I
more
think
bench
that's the better
somehow.
option.
It really depends on what this wolf rolled. Because if it's normals,
I,
then yes, but if it's mighty blow, I think wizard is better because you don't really want to blitz with Cheney anymore.
okay.
You prefer to
Well,
blitz.
you don't have to blitz with Cheney though. It's just one more strength 4 player if you really want to.
Yeah, fair enough. Like the
Yeah.
level up still matters, and I'm not a fan of not seeing what it is.
If that is mighty blow, that's a huge game
Yeah,
changer.
like that changed everything. Even if it's like strength or agility. Like agility might be enough to make the wizard better, because an AG4 blodge piece is quite strong with a
Oh
wizard.
yeah. Oh.
Ooh, Singe saying that he rolled movement, not on a doubles. So that might, like, that's a bit of a
That
tough
might
call.
also make well, it also makes the potato better because you might actually run out of reach, but it doesn't actually change the matchup that much. I think a one turn, but that shouldn't also not be a factor with flesh golems and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's too
So
easy
I
to
don't
stop.
think movement does much in this matchup actually.
Yeah, but it is nice to have. It's definitely better than just piling on more normals. But you really would like a better, like you want agility, strength, or mighty blow for things on a wolf. Because like
I
movement
agree.
is nice, but like yes, if you get 2 movement, it's amazing. But 1 movement is not that impressive.
Right. Right, because if you have 2 movement, then you can actually probably pretty often run past and don't need any support because you're
Yeah.
just so far away.
And like you can get sprint, and then be a natural one-turner wolf, which is totally not cheating.
But even without natural one turn, you might run close enough to the touchdown zone that they can't reach
Yeah.
you.
You just go like 1 square. Oh, I'm in touchdown range.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a thing also. I was thinking running up with the ball, but I guess being a scoring threat is even better.
Yeah. So yeah, like I think Birmingham is a bit more favored, having the more developed team and 2 good flesh golems
So
instead
how
of
is
1.
so you said that the Dishonor is on second place. Where is
Yes.
Drop Dead Gorgeous?
They are on
Okay,
2-1-2.
so they are on the two. Okay, so they are very close behind actually because they are 2 wins instead of 3. Well, I guess they have losses instead of the draws too.
Yeah, like everyone in this division is pretty close, except Random Boy and the people
Yeah.
like Venechar and maybe like Carlos Sibs being pretty low on the record. Like if you have 2
Well,
wins, you're in a good spot. So I think it's favoring Birmingham, but not by a lot.
and it depends on the level up. Well, all right, the level up was a movement, so
Yeah.
yeah, favored by Birmingham for sure.
So yeah, I believe that is Division 2. So Random Boy still on his win streak and probably not going to stop yet. But he lost the vampire, so that's improvement in like in getting Random Boy to lose a game.
But I mean, I kind of want to see him in playoffs though.
Well, yeah, we kinda do, but I kinda don't as well. Just because it will be funny. But yeah,
Right.
next up, Div 1, the place where I play.
Yay.
Yay! But not everyone played, because, yeah. Well, we'll look at that when we reach matches. First up, Bleeding Hippie really bullied Gaudi with quite a lot of injuries. 7
Okay.
injuries on Gaudi, 2-1
Oh
win
yeah.
for Hippie, and Gaudi taking some major damage from memory. Yeah, he's missing his 1-turner for next game, which is something I spotted, which is very big.
And according to Rebel.net, he got a niggle, but that was on a lineman, so that's not a huge deal.
Well, it means no more bench. Even more. Like, he doesn't have a bench, and he's not going to get one.
That's true.
Also, MVP on a loner. I don't think he
So,
hired him.
so how is Gaudi doing on the table?
Ooh. The table is really, really, really close right now. Like, pretty much everyone is in. Gaudi is same as me,
Wow.
2-1-2, but like we have 4 coaches at that record.
This is looking like Rel 1 now,
Yeah,
with how close this is.
this is really
Uh,
close. Hippie did not
it's
play yet, same as
something I heard
Sean.
a lot. Right. All right, that's true. So,
No,
all
not
right, and
Hippie.
they are
Pink,
at the
Pink
top,
didn't
so
play.
they might actually be ahead of the pack there, yeah.
Sorry, mistake by me. We didn't roll around it. It's Pink that did not play yet. So
Yeah.
he and Natty Dreads, which is a bit on the bottom. So Pink did not play it, and he can actually lead the pack with a win here.
The Bleeding Hippie can lead it even more.
Yeah, like next round things can happen, but Pink has he and Natty Dreads are the only one with an undecided game. Right now, actually,
Still, it's a lot closer than Division 2 because no
yes.
one is running away with it like Random Boy is.
Yeah, we're keeping everyone in check. Also, Thomas T actually has a bye week, an admin week
Right.
win expected, so he's actually technically the top of the div right now with 3-2-0, 1 point above Seanman and Hippie.
Well, but you know, Hippie, kind of expect him to win, don't you?
Well,
Not.
I don't think you heard me. I didn't mistake. It's not Hippie and Seanman that did not play it. It's Pink that did not play it. I mistook the
Oh,
teams.
it's
Pink is on 4
right,
games, and the rest are on 5. Same with Thomas T on
right.
4, needing to receive the admin win.
Oh, right. Okay, so right, so it's Pink that's probably leading the pack then.
Yeah, either Pink or Thomas T. But still, it's very close,
Right.
because Pink can still lose
Right.
his match. And with that, let's go back into the matches. Pink did not play yet against the Natty Dread.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to look at that match. We looked at it last week, and it's probably going to be played in like half an hour if anyone wants to watch it for some reason.
Right.
Next up,
Blue not casted, but we'll see.
yes. Well, next up, Metal bullied some lizards, and no one was surprised. So he talked
Wow,
about it on
that's
the
a lot of
podcast.
injuries.
Yeah, like he talked about it on the podcast. He didn't really do long-term damage except on one rookie Saurus, but still a lot of injuries, and that's pretty much enough for
Yeah, but
Metal to win.
it's looking like almost a pitch clear.
Yeah.
On the Rebel Movement report.
So much SPP for Metal there. How much is that? That's 11, 26 SPP for the Nergal. So
Wow.
yeah, that's a lot of SPP.
Last 3 times with his Agility 5 Pestigore, defying the Nurgle stereotypes.
Yeah. Well, he is Agility 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, Metal taking a win.
Other one that
Like in a very brutal fashion, but like this is a matchup you kinda expect Metal to win against Lizards.
Okay. Right. Poor lizards.
So next up, the Wat Tigers took the win over Sage. So Manu Satra back at it, bullying some chaos. Like Sage.
So. Oh wow! But looks like both sides took a lot of injuries actually.
Yeah, there was fouling from Sage in this one, so the Oak still suffers some damage. But in the end, like Manu Satra still was up ahead on blocks for the whole game. And even with the fouls, he was just able to control the pitch and steal from Sage and score. Because I believe Sage went for a very
Watch
early.
this game.
I watched this game, yes.
Okay, cool.
Sage went for a very early fireball, trying to maybe get some advantage, and it was a 4 out of 4 failure. So the wizard was thrown out of the window pretty much, turned like 2, and like he had a very tough start. And even with those fouls bringing injuries, it was never enough to actually like put the Orcs in a bad spot. So from there they just
So were Manus's strength ups very relevant there in the control game, or?
Yes, definitely. Like the guard strength and some very bad pushes from Sage. Like his first 4 or 5 turns were just pushes and more pushes. And like he even grid rerolls and gets more pushes. So Manus actually hurts him more because Claude doesn't even knock down.
Right. Yeah, and he has the armor advantage if you don't look at the claw.
Yeah. Well, if you don't knock down, then he's not going to die easy. So, yeah.
Right.
A tough game for Sage there, resulting in loss. And next up, Thomas T will get the admin win here, according to what Major White said earlier. So, leading the pack, technically.
It's cool to see a Dark Elf team doing so well.
Yes. Well,
It does not look familiar at all, but yeah.
Rift
Um,
Cannon did sometimes well with his
not,
Dark Elf team.
not this well.
Not the, like, I mean, it's only 3-0.
I suppose.
Like when you think
I
about it in
suppose.
actual record, it's not that impressive. It's just that everyone is close.
I suppose, yeah. Well, last season we had like 5 teams who won almost everything against it,
Yeah,
except against each other.
I mean, I won
So,
everything except the Rose.
K- well, last season in Division 1 was so ridiculous
Yeah,
because
it was.
Vikingnkop had like a super good record. It was like a winning record in most divisions, but he was fifth and didn't get to playoff
He was
because
sixth.
it was 5 teams with sick records. It
Well,
was
he
ridiculous.
actually, we had 5 playoff spots, and he still didn't make it with like 8 to something, 8-3 or something like that, which is
So,
insane.
so I'm really happy that we got a closer Division 1 this
Yeah.
season because that kind of disparity is not really. This disparity that we had last season is not really healthy.
I mean, I'm happy, but I'm also sad because I like being top of GMan 1, leading with
Right.
like 10, like 6 points above everyone.
Right. It's not so fun for the people at the bottom.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mm.
So yeah, next up, my match. It went really bad. It went about as bad as possible. I didn't injure an elf, and we rolled lots of bushes, and it was really frustrating. Like
That's
it's really,
usually a good start for the elves,
I
but
mean,
it's not really enough to win
like
for the
I
elves.
think this says enough. Like I did 53 blocks, mostly with Mighty Blow for 1 KO. He did 22 against Dave
Right.
9 for 2 KOs.
So that's a big thing. So did you like commit hard to the bash game then?
Not really. I
Looks like
just
that.
failed. I rolled quite a bit of double skulls, and like the wizard worked and had like quite a good scatter, and I just like
Yeah.
and like second half, like I attempt to pick up the ball, and I fail, and it was a short kick, so he gets to really pressure me, and eventually like I flop everything because like I'm not hitting stuff, and I'm not picking up the ball and getting pressured, and it was really messy.
Right. So it the no injuries part is really big. Probably the blitz was just as big.
Yeah.
Just because the pressure.
Well, it wasn't a blitz. It was like sort of blitz.
Because my
I just
experience
failed
with
the
the
pickup.
elf versus orc matchup, which is probably doubly true against your ridiculous team, is that even if you don't lose your elves, you still have to do some bullshit to actually be able to win.
Yeah, like the thing is, I failed like what I would qualify as basic stuff, and the elves were able to actually pull the bullshit off. And the wizard was like, it wasn't the best wizard, but it was good enough with a couple of dice to just run away.
Oh, they
with
had a
it.
wizard too.
Yes, and it like that. That's
Okay.
what stopped me from scoring on my drive.
Oh, okay. Right. So, yeah. So they had multiple cards working in their favor, basically.
Yeah, and I failed like some
Yeah,
pretty bad stuff. Like
right.
it was.
Yeah, but that makes basically what you need to beat you, I think. So.
Yeah.
But
it was like 1-0 only on turn 16, and after the wizard and some nonsense elf play, like they failed the dodge from diving tackle, so I had the option to like 3+ pickup, 3+ handoff for a score, and I fail it, and then the elves like pick up the ball, long bomb it, and score themselves, so it's a 2-0 instead of a draw at the end.
Oh, that's insult to injury right there.
I mean, there was no injury.
Kind of cool though.
Yeah, it happens. I know it happens. It's frustrating, but it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that far off from what I did to Gengar in playoffs, where I just held on and 4+ pass.
It's pretty similar. I gotta say that, yeah.
I mean, Gengar had his own faults at play. But yeah, that was the match, and last up.
I watched that game, and Gengar played unusually well in that match. Actually,
he played really good second half. First half,
Right.
he didn't protect the ball, turn 1, failed the pickup, and that pretty much lost him the game. Because then like I put 2 Black Hawks on the ball with stand firm and base up everything,
Right.
so he never actually picked up the ball that half. That's
Right.
why we brought it to overtime, which was really weird because I did not expect it.
Right. Yeah. So he did one crucial mistake there then.
Yeah, but one crucial mistake is enough to lose
Yeah,
the
that's
game.
So the next game,
Primetime Nibblers
Samoa
against Samoa. Quite brutal. Sad times
murdered
for...
hard.
Like, you would think that after like these results, the Skaven took more damage than the Chaos, but you will be very wrong. Like, very, very wrong here. And we will look at it in a bit. Seanman taking the 2-1 victory, of being Skaven, doing Skaven things and murdering Samoa even more. The TV says a lot, the team says more.
So we have 2 armor busts on the strength players, which is bad. And we have a strength bust on a beastman who got fired.
Yes. Like, I believe it was...
So it was just a rattle bikeman.
Like,
but yeah.
2 matches ago against Sage, like Steve lost 2 Chaos Warriors and a couple of Beastmen as well, I believe. And like now he loses another Beastman and 2 armor busts on pretty much his 2 best players on the team. And he probably has to keep some of them.
He had the Warriors back for this game though one of them was completely unleveled. And one of them only had block. But yeah. So he was already successfully partially rebuilding. At these strength players, though, even with the low armor, you might want to keep them maybe just because strength is so nice.
But like,
and one of them is a killer.
Is painful to carry. Like, it's a tough choice, especially for the one with only block. Like, the killer you probably have to keep because you're not getting a new killer anytime soon. But the other one, like, is it
you might fire Crusader, yeah.
Yeah, Steve got some removal this match, but it was too late, and he just got bullied by Skaven.
It was too late. That's a big factor.
Yes.
He killed a gutter runner.
Yeah. That leaves only 2 for Seanman left. No, 3 left, but no bench, really. Like, he has 2 line rats with a skill and a rookie one with minus movement.
It's the right skills, though. It's kick and dirty player. It's what you want.
Yeah. He will be going in next game with more loners and missing a gutter runner, though, so that actually is a bit bad for Seanman.
And those storm vermin look really good. And Tiny Paws looks really good, too.
Steve's saying he is keeping the killer for sure, but he's probably unsure about the other one, which makes sense. Like, the killer, like, sure you protect him, but you can't fully protect him always. Like, that doesn't happen in Blood Bowl, especially against other bash teams. But I do agree that he's too big to protect. Like, it's too big to throw him away. He's your only killer beastman, and he's strength 4.
And even if he dies, he might take a couple of players with him.
Yeah.
Like so it might still in the end be worth it.
Yeah. Steve is sad that Crusader is missing a game, but I don't like this. Crusader is definitely the toughest choice because yes, Strength 4 is amazing, but minus armor hurts. He's a massive target for blitzes.
Strength 4 might not actually be that amazing because low armor on Strength 4 is very anti-synergistic.
Yes.
Like, it makes the strength worse. And so that might be a reason to actually fire him.
So yeah.
The other player is good for other reasons because he's more of a blitzer than a baser.
Yeah, like you cannot use the strength aggressively. Like, very possibly the next skill for that dude was guard. But do you take guard on an AB7 piece to just base up people?
Yeah, you might if you're elves, but not on chaos.
Yeah, like it's tougher for chaos because He's like the one guy you need to protect as well.
Maybe if he gets a double for a dodge.
Yeah, like if he gets double for dodge, you can maybe make him your ball carrier instead of T, because he's probably better as a ball carrier now that T lost the movement.
Yeah.
To be honest, even if he doesn't roll
When did
doubles, I might take sure hands and kick T.
he lose the movement? When did that
Uh,
happen?
Rather recently, a few games ago, I believe in the last like a mess of like the last time he lost 2 warriors and a couple of beastmen, so against Sage, possibly earlier.
Right.
So yeah, that's the
So
matches we had. Let's look over at the next week.
right.
First up, we have a pretty big game. It's Sage versus
Oh
Hippie.
yeah.
So
So how are the Slaughterers looking today?
they still are a bit recovering. They need more levels on Chaos Warriors, but they're looking fine. They have 2 good killers on Chaos Warriors.
I think they're looking better than when I played them last.
Yes, probably. Yeah, they have
Yeah.
2 really good Chaos Warriors, a good killer. Their ball carrier is still -2 armor, but he can afford to keep him a very bloated, dirty
Right.
player. Couple of good beastmen, and still
Have they lost another Chaos Warrior recently? Because one of them is really low leveled.
he's just like he lost 2, pretty much one after the other, and he never really had the option to level them up. It's not easy to level up a rookie Chaos Warrior, especially facing teams in GMan 1.
Okay, so that guy who's blocky has been around for a while then.
Yeah, he's like 10 games in, something like that.
Okay, so it was like playoffs or last season that he lost
Yeah.
them.
He lost them
Okay.
last season, most of them.
Okay. Oh, right. He wasn't in. Was he in playoffs? I
Uh,
don't remember.
he was in playoffs, he lost to Infinite Pink.
Ah, right. Okay. So that's probably still slightly favored for Hippie.
Well,
Is it?
Hippie is looking strong, but actually for this match, Sage has the same amount of guard, because Hippie lost a guard Chof recently. And he will have the strength because he's playing a stronger team by default, and some inducements. So it's not that clear
But that's
cut.
kind of. Yeah, but that's always Hippie's matchups though with Bash, isn't it? He's outstrengths, but he does so much damage that it
Well,
maybe doesn't matter.
that's like for this matchup, it's not as easy because Sage might just like Sage has dirty players and he has some claw of his own. So if Sage
Right.
goes for bribes, he can definitely win the bash game in damage. Because
Yeah, that's true.
one claw down, like sure Hippie will get more damage from blocks, but if you have like a bribe or 2, you can probably cover that up with good fouls, especially punishing so much piling on from bleeding Hippie.
Oh yeah. As Papanasti likes to say, you can only punish one of the pylons.
Yeah, but if like you can punish the important one and those without claw, like the one without claw is not as important, and eventually
Right.
you can like one turn you punish the first one, the second turn you punish the second one, eventually you're out of dwarves.
Right.
Definitely not claw minor loner when he has 3 claw anyway, Steve. That's not the inducement from Sage. But yeah,
Does he
like
get that much the inducements that he can afford that?
he, prob- he, ca-
Pretty high.
he has like 200k in inducements.
Right. So knowing Sage, it's quite likely to be a wizard.
Yeah. Either wizards or bribes, possibly both if he's willing to use some of his bank, like one wizard, one bribe.
Which he might be willing to, actually.
I wouldn't be too surprised.
Especially with this division so close and the Bleeding Hippie being one of the favorites.
Yeah. Like
So that's a good game to win because you both and
like you
make
knock
his
someone important down and you need like every win matters when everyone is so close. Because it might like at the end it's going to be like 1-2 points that will matter who goes to playoffs if it's going to stay that way.
So it makes sense to scum a little bit in this match.
Like in general, this matchup is a bit awkward for the Chorfs because they like usually are about the same on damage, And like the
Right.
Chorf's advantage is not that, like they have tackle and block for free, but at high TV, one, there's no dodge on the Chaos. Two, like the Chaos already got their block. They have also kill skills and strength and guard.
Right.
So
It's the unorthodox choice of not going for much guard
yeah, Hippie
here
going
with
very
the
much
pro and stuff.
damage, and that might like for a matchup like this, it's definitely like awkward to not outguarding Sage when he's also very low on guard, and it might
Right.
be like his for this matchup possibly a loss. The loss for Bleeding Hippie in this season was to Metal, which is a very nasty claw team with strength and guard. So if someone can
Right.
take him, it possibly is Sage, considering he's such a good coach. So,
You convinced me.
ooh, yay, I convinced someone on the internet. Hooray! So yeah, I think Sage will have a bit of a favorite matchup, but not by a lot. Like the inducements are what I think give Sage the advantage, alongside Hippie
Okay.
being low on guard.
Right.
Next
Metal
up,
versus the Squishy
yes,
Conquistadors.
so Metal, at the most bloaty team in existence. I think you know at least a bit of.
2-4. Oh wow, they have grown.
Yeah.
Okay. I see it has strength up there and some tackle. Not really bloaty because everything's good, right?
They have 16 players. And
I mean, Metal has made a pretty good case for why that is good.
I'm not buying that
So
still. And he has like a bazillion team value.
I'm buying it though, because it helps protect his valuable players, and that's really valuable. And it being high on TV, it's bad for spiraling expenses. You will almost never have money. So somehow he has money. I don't understand how that happened.
I don't
But
think you pay spiraling expenses when it's an admin
but
result. So he
but
actually didn't pay once.
so but anyway, so you said there.
Yeah. He is.
But anyway, the inducements kind of have diminishing returns, don't they? So going that high.
Depends. Like he is facing the Swishy Conquistadors, and yes, like you can only get like 2-star players and like one wizard, but so much inducements means they can just like buy an army of loners, so they also don't care if you hurt stuff, which is
Yeah,
really not ideal. Like the game plan against elves is you murder stuff and then they cannot out agi you, but if you murder stuff and they're still on 11, that's really awkward to play.
but he can outscore elves. He proved that against me. But yeah,
Yeah, but that was a very weird game.
I guess so. The strip ball is a problem,
Well,
admittedly.
there is the Agi5 Sure Hands Beastman, so Sleep Ball not too scary, but there will be a wizard for sure. We might see, like, there's so much inducements, it's tough to guess. Like, we might see, like, Eldril as well. Maybe Jordan
Yeah.
Fresh Breeze for an Agi5 War Dancer. Maybe just, like, Babes, Appos, and a lot of bench. Like,
So they
there
will have
is
a
so
lot of
much option.
bullshit potential.
Yeah,
But then Nurgle with all that disturbing presence kind of makes the bullshit a lot worse. So it's still at best going to be a close game, I think, for the elves.
it's going to be a close game. Like, the big factor I think is the two agility 5 catchers, which are fast also with movement 9. Because they can
Right.
ignore like one disturbing presence, and like if the elves get the ball, they are probably going to score very quickly, even with disturbing presence because of the Agi5.
Maybe. But he can stack up the disturbing presence though, so becomes hard even for the
Yeah,
Agility 5.
yeah, but like with like you need 3 disturbing presence to make it a 4+ catch, and that's still 75% to make it with the inbuilt reroll. And
Oh
like
yeah, that's true.
so
The scoring threat might also be marked, so that's one more -1.
yeah, but that's like a lot of like the thing is elves usually like they don't need to scoring threat and then score. They can like hand off it to someone that's a bit out of the way and then be fast enough to get out of range.
Right.
Like sure,
Yeah.
when they are defending against Metal, if they get the ball, it's going to be very difficult to Metal to change formation and actually stop a score. So the Wizard is going to be a big problem for him.
Yeah, the Wizard and the Strip Ball are problems. And the Agility 5 is a problem, that's true. But I still think a really good chance to win this still.
Like, I just know that Metal has a tendency to flop against elves, but
What?
he can definitely win this matchup. But it depends on how
Right.
good the damage is and how many tools. Like the more tools the Wood Elves are willing to get that are like making the damage weaker, so more babes, more apples, more bench, the weaker the damage becomes unless he gets a lot of it. So like if it doesn't like overcome the amount of inducements they get to counter the damage, it's going to be very awkward for Metal because he's going to play against 11 pretty much the whole game, and it's actually really tough to beat 11 elves for 16 turns.
But this disturbing presence and stuff should help with that.
Yeah, it
but,
helps,
yeah.
but it's usually not enough. Because
Okay.
it's tough to keep 3 disturbing presence on all the catcher all the time. And like only 1 or 2 are not that impactful, especially with agility 5.
Right.
Yeah, the Nurgle team is very much disgusting. If they get the damage quick enough, this can definitely go into like the hero doesn't have a single chance. But if
I mean,
they
this
hold,
thing is the default for Nurgle.
yeah,
That's kind of the thing.
it's also the default for Wood Elves. If they die quickly, they lose.
A misuse of the word disgusting. With Nurgle, it's actually true.
A very nasty team and very expensive. Next up,
The plus movement beast is actually really good.
yeah, it's actually nice to be able to mark people farther away, and he didn't have that many better options. The tentacles can do a lot of work here, if the beast is obedience. But if it's stupid, then Metal will have some... He really hates this beast, because it's usually really stupid at the most important time.
Oh, okay. That's a classic.
Yeah.
A big factor in this game, actually. This beast.
Yeah. So yeah, next up, I'm against the other Nurgle of this division. So I'm playing against Infection Inc. My team looks...
It's all the stun firm and all the guard, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I lost a blitzer 2 games ago to Rats to a non-assist foul, which I'm still salty about. But the rest of the team is pretty fine.
Ultimate guard wall anymore. Just almost ultimate guard wall.
Having 7 instead of 8 sucks, but like it's still a lot of guard, I would say. I'm willing to claim that 7 is still a lot of guard.
Probably, yeah. And you still have Mighty Blow too, so you're not gimping yourself in any way.
Yeah, like having 3 Mighty Blow instead of 4 hurts a bit. But
you don't have much bench, that's the thing.
I have 13 pieces and I can get more. I didn't get more against the elves, because it's elves. It's just too bloaty to carry like 14, 15 players against elves. They don't do enough and I don't foul enough.
So Steve is saying that you have enough cash to replace Knife Juggler.
Yes, but I really want him dead. I want him dead.
But you actually don't have enough cash to replace him because you kind of want that lineman.
Yeah, I probably will get another bench. I'm this week against Infection Inc. And they are a lot less scary than the other Nurgle team. But they still have lots of players, which I still disagree with.
They are still scary, but a lot less scary, yeah.
Only 2 claw pieces, 1 without block. So, and he is the expensive version of All Apple Pies. But there is Chet Manley, who is Chet Manley.
Who has a tail now?
Yes, he like we saw the tail last week, but it's still like it looks good, but it's really tough to see it in the in-game client because the tail is too like tall, so I don't see the end
Right.
of the tail easily, which is just
Oh yeah,
annoying.
it's on the, yeah, maybe you can see it on the team photo.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I can,
Yeah, there it is.
yeah. I'm not
He
sure where
stands
it's
behind
coming
people
from.
there.
Like I think
It's
this is like this guy is Chet Manley, but how the tail goes like that, which is a very weird spot to decide to make the tail go.
he's using it to grope all his teammates.
Fair enough. But yeah, looking at the matchup, Pink has 2 Mighty Blow, one without block, one with block tackle. Uh, only 4 guard, which is a bit on the low side. No Killer Beastman, and he is carrying a few Niggles as well. One on Chat Manley, one on the guy with the numbers in the name.
Oh yeah, that's actually an interesting thing, right? Only the warriors being killers.
Yes.
Killers slow.
Only 2 Niggles, because this is a plus-minus move. His movement 6, but has plus movement, so this is a minus movement. But it's really
Okay.
tough to spot, so I don't blame chat for not noticing it. But you were still wrong. But
So
yeah, like, I beat Metal's Nergal team, but mostly because of some dice, and because he wasn't able to murder me. I think that this is a good matchup for me, though, because there
okay.
isn't enough claw yet. And I definitely still have
Now,
a lot more guard.
do you have enough more guard to actually deny his claw hits?
No, but I can also get good hits myself. Which is the thing here. Like, he doesn't have... Like, I can
So the
oppress
injury
him
dice will be
enough.
pretty key.
Yeah, for sure.
So right,
But, like,
interesting.
he doesn't have enough claw to oppress me. And I think I have enough guard to slow him down. And I probably
Right.
will also... Like, with enough bench, I can still be very annoying to go through.
He has dirty players on a big bench, so that's also a factor.
Yeah, but... Like, as a fact, because I know how I play my team, it's very difficult to foul me well. Because I usually have like all my player in a very huge line with guard, and like you knock the guy in the corner down, but it's still a small foul against AV9.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
So you specifically are very comfortable playing against fouling
yeah,
teams.
like fouling can always get lucky, of course, but
Yeah.
it's not like it's a game plan I feel confident against because it's tough to foul me well with so much stand firm and so much guard because I usually control the pitch better than my opponent.
That makes sense. And unless the claw fires really hard, that's probably the outcome though,
Yeah,
then that you control the pitch.
like the big reason why I think I can control ping here is because the claw is on the slow players, so it's a lot easier to control them because they are
Oh yeah,
movement
that's
4.
true. That's true. Yeah. Interesting. So shall we go to the next game?
Yes.
So it's the really beaten up Samoa against Ravensclaws.
Yes. More rats, which probably will cause some PTSD for Steve over there. But there is no one turner for this game, which is very big. And the rats are missing quite a bit in terms of bench. There's only like only one Storm
This,
Vermin, 3
right.
Gunners.
So if do some precision targeting, they might be able to take out the killer fast and then be in much better shape.
Yes.
Turner
Steve,
is out.
like this is a very weird situation because the rats are not getting any inducements really. After Steve gets the loner, there's not going to be like he's going to get inducements actually a little bit.
I mean that's fair with him being so beaten
Yeah,
up.
it's not going to be much, but it will be like after Gaudi's one loner. It will may oh it's only one loner, so not even enough for a ban.
I think the scariest thing on Gaudi's team here is why bother naming you with a wrestle strip ball.
Yeah. Is the sure hand. Well, he's like the issue with him is the armor value 7, and that Steve does have a good ball carrier still, so he's not going to be too effective.
Oh, so he's actually not all that scary
Yeah.
either. So this very beaten up teams probably having a fairly, in a roundabout way, fair match there.
I still think the Skaven have it because Steve doesn't have any tackle on the team right now, which is
Oh,
like that.
yeah, that's a big thing.
That's really impactful, and the Skaven have more kill power with Steve only having like they have about the same kill power because they have a Claw Bomber, Storm Vermin,
Right,
while
but the
Steve
Skaven are
has
faster.
yeah, the Skaven are faster, and actually having Claw Bomb instead of Claw Mighty Blow makes the difference on their big
Yeah.
targets. So,
Okay, so Skaven should be favored in this one.
by a bit, because both of
By
them
a
are
bit.
beaten up. Like, if AV7 is really bad, and it just breaks to nothing consistently, then it's going to be tough for Gaudi. But he has some very nasty gutter runners, which are very tough to deal with no tackle from Steve.
So Steve did the math, and he gets 50k inducements according to Steve in chat.
Yeah. That
That's a babe for the chaos.
yeah, he probably cannot afford to waste his money to upgrade that. So the
He
babe is
needs them
nice.
to rebuild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like damage really is going to matter in this match. But like if it's even on damage, I think the Skaven will have a much better time. And it's not that extreme to expect even damage because of a very good killer from the Skaven and no good killers from the Chaos with only two Mighty Blow Chaos Warrior without tackle to hit
So,
Gutter Runners.
yeah, only two Mighty Blow can still be plenty though against the lineman, but line rats, I mean.
But you still like the thing is Skaven can afford to lose a line rat or two, but it's a lot more painful for Chaos to lose a Beastman or two because they're not fast enough or agile to maneuver around missing players.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like, and there is
Well,
a
yeah.
very nasty Agility 5 Gutter Runner and a Blood Step Diving Tackle who together can cause a lot of mess.
Yeah, so definitely a really hard game for Samoa, but
Yeah,
if they can get some damage in, they
could still win it.
could still win it, yeah.
Yeah. If Gaudi had his one turner, this would pretty much be an impossible game for Samoa because
Right.
they would need this guy dead before he actually does
I
his
think
job.
the absolute priority target, if possible, should be taking out the Storm Vermin, right?
Yeah. But he's not
Um,
as easy to remove as you might think.
Guess he's gonna be hiding behind the other rats.
Yeah, he's gonna punch you, run back, repeat until.
Yeah, that's the thing with speed.
But yeah,
Scary stuff.
probably a tough match for Steve. And next up, Primetime Nibblers against the Nutty Dread. So poor Big Easy TP being bottom of the table, he's going to face GMan. Possibly for a match where he can get some SVP back after we bullied him.
Aren't the primetime nibblers really scary though?
Not that scary. The Chaos Dwarves have only 4 guard for this match. They will have 5 Mighty Blow, 4 of it on tackle, a Dirty Player, an AG4 Hobgoblin, a Wrestler.
Nice.
They will have the tackle to deal with Skaven, and having a Bull Centaur with both Mighty Blow and tackle is very nice to hunt
Yes,
down
the
Gutter
reason I'm
Runners.
assuming that primetime nibblers are really scary is that who did that to Samoa.
Yeah. Well, they have 2 good killers, but
Yeah.
one of them is only Claw Mighty Blow and has both an Eagle and a minus armor, so he can very much explode if things go bad.
So with Chaos Dwarves eyes, they look like we can kill them faster than they kill us, kind of.
Like the issue with both Storm Vermin being Nigel, one of them being minus armor, that can go very bad.
Right. So yeah, the game kind of hinges on them then.
Yeah. GMan
Survive or not.
also will have some loners. he only has 3 gutter runners right now. One of them being a natural one-turner, which really, like,
Yeah, that's enough, isn't it?
that can he can win a game on his own. Movement busted gutter runner, which pretty sucks.
Oh yeah.
How much inducements will it be? Actually, not a lot for Sean Man. He probably can barely get the wizard, but that's it.
Okay.
So
How
that's
many
like
loners are there?
a 4, which is
So yeah, he gets 200
no,
them,
he
doesn't
gets
he?
150 against Big EZTP, which is just the wizard.
Wizard is plenty though, so that could be a big thing.
Yeah, but that means no bench. So maybe
Yeah, yeah.
if the Chorfs get the damage early enough, and they do have the mighty blow, and they manage to kill that, like to at least remove that armor 6 one turner, that could be quite big.
So
But
Steve is saying that Sunfire is immortal, which makes me think that Primetime Nibblers are favored here.
he's probably immortal. Like historically, he has been immortal. But I don't know. I want to believe that Big ZTP can get out of his bad record and actually pull it off. But
Okay, yeah, that would be nice.
that is always nice. And he does have the tools to damage. I think this Bull Centaur is really good in this matchup. Because he's very fast, he can dodge out, and he has both Mighty Blow and Tackle to hit gutter runners.
That's a nice player. Wouldn't mind having him on an elf team.
Fair enough. I mean, if you could get 4 Blackhawks like mine on an elf team, I think you would take that as well.
I thought so too, but then I tried a mixed team where I actually did that, and it didn't work out so well. But maybe that's just on low TV.
Yeah, leveling up Blackhawks is a pain. I can confirm. Like, the youngest one I have is like 4 seasons old now.
Oh wow!
Well, my team is really old. It's like a bunch of very old orcs. A knife juggler who's very old and very bad.
Survivors.
Yes. So, yeah.
All right.
Like, with the one turner, it's still probably favored toward Sean Man. But if the
Yeah, probably.
AV6, like, if we can get him down, because there's no bench and he's AV6, we might be, like, he might be able to pull off a win here. Depends on when the damage comes in, though.
Yeah, and on what pieces?
Yeah.
Very crucially, on what pieces? All of them. That's good.
Well, if you get enough line rats, then it's still pretty difficult because there's no way to protect those gutter runners.
Yeah, but with one turn, you can still. Yeah.
Well, he can fail the one turn, which would be funny.
Oh yeah, that's true. But even then, he might be able to do it. Not if it's the last turn, I guess. But yeah.
Well, next up we have the Bloodthirsty Seaguard against Mighty
The
Reptiles.
Hive.
Yes, that's Siladris against Kreitan. Kreitan looking rather okay considering he's been after a match against Metal. He got another break tackle on a Saurus, which is quite nice. He possibly will replace this rookie that got minus.
Oh, he can afford it, right?
But
Yeah,
he might
yeah,
need.
I would do that.
Well, the other possibility is he gets kinks, because playing with loners kinks is pretty bad if they need to handle the ball.
Yeah, I guess, but he still has 2 skinks that can handle the ball, and the loners can just be support.
Yeah, we very much might see
Of
him
course.
replace the Saurus.
That seems like the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
To me, anyway.
Yeah, he has a pretty
How
expensive, bloaty Blodger skink, and only one
you
tackle.
know that's what he needs though. If he wants to carry on one skink and use the others for support, he needs that bloaty skink to really be safe.
Yeah, but no sure hands very possibly matters for this matchup, and only one tackle is also an issue. As we look into Tiladri's team, I played them, so I know they have a Leap Strip Bowler and quite a lot of Blodge, which is going to be an issue for this matchup. Also a good
lot of
Skink
speed.
Hunter.
They are actually fast enough to outspeed the lizards, I think.
Yes, well, they're elves.
Yeah, but I mean, not all elves are fast.
They are
But
high
yeah,
elves. They're not dark elves. And even dark elves are
yeah,
sort of difficult.
but even vanilla high elves, they are faster than lizards, but they are not so much
Yeah.
faster that it's a significant advantage. But with two movement, 9 players, I think it might actually be a significant
Yeah.
advantage, even against lizards.
That's very much fair. Having so much blodge against no tackle and having a straight ball against no sure hands and having a good skink hunter is very
Oh,
meaningful for this matchup, I think.
yeah. I would be scared if I was Mighty Reptiles.
Yeah. Well, they will be getting quite a bit of inducements, about like
Okay, inducements.
300k in inducement, something like that. So we might have like a wizard
Okay.
and a, a bribe to try and get something out of that.
I think Silly Billy, is he more for the bash matchup?
He's pretty weak against elves. Like he's movement 7, which is nice, but it doesn't give you guard. And like, yes, it's
Okay,
one less kink on the pitch, but it doesn't help you. Like, it doesn't stop the elves from going, oh, I'll strip ball you and just score.
right. So, are there any of the other star players that are good against elves?
Uh, Against like wood elves, you have Hemlock, who is blodge step with stab. So that's like a way
Okay,
to like deal with blodge.
that's a
But
shadowing player, right?
no, he's not shadowing. He's just blodge step, jump up, stab, and the skink.
Okay, that doesn't sound very good, actually.
He's nice against wood elves because he helps you deal with their blodge, but he's not very good against
Uh,
high elves because they are armor 8.
but stab is like a poor man's tackle.
Yeah, yeah, but if you really need tackle, then it's useful.
And how much tackle do this lizards have now?
1.
Today. So this is really, really favored for the elves,
Yeah,
isn't it?
like they have the dodge, they have the speed, they have
They
the
have,
way to kill the lizards, possibly better than the lizards can kill them, and they have strip ball against no sure hands.
and they have a thrower just to add
Yeah,
to that.
like they can score quickly and then continuously steal the ball from the lizards, which is going to be difficult.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough for the
Yeah,
lizards.
like usually, especially at this team value, if you don't have a sure hand skinks, elves are very difficult to win against because of how good strip ball is against lizards. Because you
If
already
you don't
carry.
have, if you don't have shorehand
Yeah,
strings, was that what you said? Okay.
yeah, like if you don't have sure hand, it's like they just sack the ball easily. Because even with a good cage, it's like a 1 dice on a skink, which is 5 out of 6 to get the ball down, which is good enough.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
tough matchup for the lizards here. And
So note to self: get strip ball against lizards.
yes,
Um,
that's like the like in my opinion, possibly the most difficult match for lizards is good Skaven, because they have faster players to just chase down the skinks in gutter runners, and they usually also have strip ball, so they can just knock the ball down super easily, get the ball, run away, and it's very tough to
right.
stop them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So fast, they are not that fast.
yeah, they outspeed you.
Absolute
Gutter runners are
disaster.
stupid. Gutter runners are just stupid.
But those high elves catchers are gutter runner
Yeah.
speed. So yeah, they are also stupid. Uh, so absolute disasters versus the Warg
Yes.
Tigers.
So Dark Elves against Orcs. Absolute Disaster suffered some Absolute Disaster, losing 2 witches back to back in their last 2
Okay.
games. So there was a Strength 4 witch and a Mighty Blow witch, but there's now 2 rookies.
Oh, so this team is starting to look scarily ordinary,
Yeah.
and like I have experience, ordinary dark elves are not really good enough for Division 1.
Well, they still have a fast Blitzer, couple of Blodge, some Guard.
Oh yeah, movement 8, right? That's a big deal actually.
Yeah.
And actually, they managed to build a thrower from a runner, so that's a thing.
Yeah, they do have a
Correct.
couple
That's
of guard as
cool.
well, and they
So
are
they can actually play the not the non-dark elf way to
yeah,
play,
like scoring
which
two
I never had the
turns,
option to.
which like usually dark elves tend to like
Well,
stall.
well, scoring 2 turns you can do anyway, but with this, this opens up like drop back with a thrower and go for a pass play
Yeah.
offense, even if you don't do it quickly, and it opens up a lot of options. So maybe that's what they're doing.
Yeah. Still, like losing those two witches is a massive blow, because from being
Might
super
a
scary.
mighty blow, which is one of the best things you can have
Yeah.
in my experience.
Also, strength 4 witch is really good. Like strength 4
I'm not,
anything.
I never had a strength 4 witch, but I believe that it's good. Yeah, strength 4 anything is good. Yeah,
Yeah.
on outs especially.
Yeah. They are up against Manus Atras, the Wa Tigers, which is quite a scary team, but not as scary as they would have been at the start of the season. They still have two pretty good bomb blitzers. No, one bomb blitzer, one bomb Black Orc, which I don't like,
And
but he's
and
useful.
even with a strength lineman out, they still have enough strength to be really elves.
Yeah, well, they have strength ball carrier, which is actually a very annoying thing for the Dark Elves
That
to
that
do.
makes that makes the life hard for elves for
Yeah.
sure. And
Also,
the kick of return can actually be pretty relevant too, because it reduces the risk of there being an opportunity to steal early in the drive.
like, it makes it a lot more safer if the kick is
Yeah.
very deep, because you can reach it and still go forward, and you're not stuck on your touchdown line after
Yeah.
picking the ball up because you're so slow.
Of course, of course, you still maybe need to move back some other players to support him,
Yeah,
because even with strength 4, if the elves invade, more of them, many of them could gang up on him, and that could be a thing.
yeah,
But still, blodge on strength 4 is really nice, and sure hands.
yeah. Only three
Yeah,
tackle on this team. One of it being on a lineman without any killing skill, so that might
yeah.
matter. Also, but a
Or
lot
mighty
of
blow,
like
depending
naked
on
mighty
the.
blow. Like
Yeah, and two of the tackles are really backed up with other skills,
yeah.
with murder skills.
But one
So
of them is a slow Black Orc, which is not as good as it is
I
for the
didn't
Blitzer.
notice that.
It's a very weird
Okay.
Black Orc. I don't. He's also Nigand.
Yeah, jump up is kind of cool actually. But yeah, weird black orc. But he might do some work here,
Yeah,
maybe.
like the Pomb is still good against elves.
Of
Cause
course, the elves are gonna dodge away from him at every opportunity, of course.
yeah,
But they do it through tackles, so it might. Okay.
it might matter. For inducements, we will have about 300,000 for Thomas T here. So
That's not enough really to do anything significant.
the Wizards very much matters with such an annoying ball carrier, because that's like
Do you
one
think he
attempt.
is gonna throw in 50K for that? Yeah, I guess he has pretty much a full roster, so I guess he might do that.
Well, he has 300k, so he can get a wizard and like still get more.
Okay.
So possibly like a
So
wizard and a bribe, maybe a wizard and some babes.
okay. I must have misheard you. I thought he had got 100, but
Oh,
300, that's
yeah.
plenty.
What would you suggest? Like, do you just go the wizard route and something small on the side, or would you suggest any star player?
I mean, so honestly, on the results, it kind of looks like Thomas T is doing a better job than me, so I shouldn't give him advice. um, it's what I'm thinking.
Fair enough. That's one way to look at it. I probably would like, even though like babes are just okay, and like possibly even go like wizard, like get yourself a lineman with your money in the bank, so you have a bench, and then get a wizard. Would probably be my line of play, because then you still have a bench and you have that wizard, which is very nice for this matchup.
Like a good plan. So one of the star players you always consider is Eldril, but I don't think that's good with the tackle and Mighty Blow being on the same players.
Also, like
because they can just kill Eldril after he tries his first hypnotic gaze.
also like it's even if you hypnogaze the corner of the cage, it's really tough to knock down a strength 4 blodge carrier inside the cage.
Yeah, that's true. So Wizard is better than Eldril because of these factors.
Yeah. Still,
The other star player I would consider is Roxana, but I think Wizard is better in this
yeah,
case too.
that's for the same reasons, because Roxana cannot
I
really get the thrower down.
I guess Hubris is an option because it's strength 4, which kind of helps.
Yeah, but I
Just
don't
waste.
think he can really like give you enough to win the bash game on his own.
Might have an easier time hitting the ball than anyone
Yeah.
else.
But he doesn't have tackle or wrestle, so it's still very difficult to knock the ball down.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, Wizard is probably the best.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. So overall, probably a tough match for the Dark Elves, but not like it's still winnable for sure. It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not so beaten up yet. So
Yeah, but if they lose like another key positional, this is how you end up with a dead Dark Elf team, or at least start going that way.
yeah, that's how you end up the way I was.
Yeah. So yeah, that
Uh,
is everyone, unless I missed a game.
yeah,
I feel stupid. Uh, Thomas
that
did
was
get his
everyone.
bye-week result processed by Major Bite, so now he's actually on top. We actually, before I end the recap, I want to see the current score line of the pink match, just
Okay.
because it's interesting. And
Oh, they are playing right now.
they started like very recently.
Okay.
It's still 0-0. Oh well, what can I do?
Oh, well, we can go in and look at what the position is.
Ah, well, but before that, because it's going to be really messy with the recap, I would like to close the recap and thank everyone for watching the recap. It was a good one.
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
Dreamifi, for joining me on replacing Vikingnkop for this week. It was great.
Yeah, it was fun. I feel like I slowed everything down, but I think it was good.
I'm
So
okay with being slow sometimes. Like, you will get used to those divisions. It's tough to recap when you don't know the coaches or the teams at all, because you've never seen them really. But
yeah, but it kind of well, you have the knowledge, so it kind of worked out. I
yeah.
think.
I hope that it was still enjoyable. I believe it was. I had a good time, so it was nice having you. So yeah, to Twitch chat and to YouTube, thank you very much for watching. It was a great pleasure to do this recap, and we'll go and do another one next week. Hopefully Vikingkop will be back by then. And to Twitch chat, I will